I feel like that's wrong.
Thirsty.
So
I
I think
he can't
everybody
like,
will
he
probably
can't
agree.
like. I don't care if it's a picture of the dog on the page. Nobody
You go
better
through though,
like
like
me.
I feel like you should look at it like I deserve this. Yes, this is my money.
Welcome back to Melanated Opinion. I'm Shanita.
I'm Crystal. What up, people?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Melissa.
It's Takara. On today's show, we have an exciting topic for you. It's steps in achieving a successful life. So we have a few steps, and then I want you ladies to give your input as well throughout. The first one is be committed. A lot of people think of ideas that they want in life and think of ways that they feel they can be successful, but they're not really committed to the process. It's like afterthoughts. Oh, this is what I want, but are you really doing what it is that you need to in order to achieve it? So if you only have a few moments to spare, at least commit to trying 15 minutes a day, and use that 15 minutes to work on your plan and actually do something in preparation for whatever event that you're trying to become successful in. Think positive and change your perspective. Sometimes you don't achieve success because you don't believe that you can. So if you trust yourself enough to feel like I can be successful, I can achieve this, even if no one in your family has did it, then more likely you may be successful as well.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, that you do need to think positive, because it's kind of like, if you don't believe you can do it, then why are you even gonna start or try? Because you're not gonna get very far. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a big part of it. And also the part about the 15 minutes, I think that's like a very good idea, because it's like most of the time we can usually find 15 minutes. Like, we can talk ourselves into not having an hour, but it's hard to come up with a good excuse as to why you can't find 15 minutes a day.
Right. And that's funny, because actually earlier today you were telling me I was telling you about an idea, and you were saying, find a dedicated date and, day and time in which you can do this particular thing. So good thoughts, Shanita. Yep, that's true. And I mean, you spend longer than that on social media.
Yeah, what you was gonna say, Melissa?
I was gonna say I completely agree with two things you said. For one, the commitment. I mean, if you're not gonna be committed to it, you might as well not do it. But then again, who am I to talk? Because there's some things that I need to be committed to as well, and I probably would have been more successful by now if I would have shown some commitment. And the second thing you say, don't get discouraged if somebody else in your family have done it. You still have to believe in yourself in order to, what I'm saying, you can't always have that support. Like, sometimes you have to be your support. And yeah,
that's true. And when you said that it was some things that you didn't commit to, was you passionate about it, or was it just a random thought?
I feel like with me, I go in these rabbit holes. It's like I find something I like. It's like, ooh, I want to do it right now, today, yesterday. Don't even worry about it. And like, I just, and then I get tired of who's like, I don't really want to do that though. Like, that's what end up happening every time. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you kind of said that, because even if y'all need to pause the video for a moment, but I would say write down what success means to you and people in your family. And if it's not any of these tips that's included in your plan, then you may want to reevaluate, what success actually means or how to actually achieve it, because what you were thinking may not be it, especially if you was getting it from the wrong people.
Yep, I 100% agree with that, because I feel like, the things that I was taught that was success when I was younger is not what I would define success at this age. Even myself, the things that I believed at 20 something is not what I believe now. So really figure out what is success for you, and not society, not your family, not your friends, not anybody, but just you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Yep, that's true. And our next one is take away distractions and negativity, whether it be people or things or even places. It may be some habits that you have that are not the best, and it's keeping you away from, you know, being able to focus on what it is that you need to be focused on. And sometimes people can hinder your growth as well, especially if they don't have the same mindset. If they're not trying to grow and make you better, they can kind of hold you down because they don't want you to get ahead of them.
Yep, just like you were saying, social media, like that's 100%, you know, a habit that we all get into that's not really as beneficial. Also for me, like there's a lot of things on TV that I don't have. Like I try not to get into a lot of shows because once I get into it, I'm usually going to binge it until the end. So when somebody say, have you watched the new blah, 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 I usually haven't watched it because I don't want my time to go towards that, because I know once I'm there, then I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
And Shanita, I completely agree about, you know, take away the distractions, watch who you hang out with, because that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people just want that genuine friendship, but a lot of people just want to watch you to figure out what you're doing. It's not really to be friends with you. And a lot of people mistake that. And, you know, I just feel like their business or whatever they're trying to do and them are going downhill because they're hanging around the wrong people.
Yep. And then you thinking that they, you know, supporting you, but they could be preying on your downfall.
Exactly.
So that's true. Also, you want to take advice from the people that are doing what you do. It's so many people that are already in the field or area that you kind of are interested in, or the way you're trying to go. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they are willing to help you, or, you know, give you some advice or put you on the right track. All you have to do is ask. That's why it's very good to network. I know LinkedIn is very popular. I have people that, some of them I don't know, but because we have mutual friends, you have connections. And then I have gotten inboxes from people that have looked at my resume and things like that. So try to connect with people. If you don't have people in your circle or people that you can come in contact with to help you, then you may want to evaluate who you have around and go back to our previous tip.
I have something to say about that really quick, because I feel like a lot of people make it hard to do that now because it's oh, go buy my ebook, go do this. I'm not giving out nothing for free. Like people say that all the time now. You can't really ask nobody and they'll give you, not saying like give them the answer, but like give them some tips. They don't even do that now. They just say, go get my ebook. It's all in there.
That is true, but that's actually another tip. All you need is one yes. So you may get 1,000 people that, and I know what you mean because I have been on those social media lives and stuff where they'll tell you, you know, I'm not giving out anything for free. I had to look, or I had to work for it. So why am I going to get it for free? But you're going to have somebody, even if it's just that one person, somebody going to tell you yes, and they're going to help you. So you don't have to give up.
Right. And so I also feel like there are so many resources that are easily accessible nowadays, you know, whether it be people on Instagram or people on YouTube showing you, you know, walking you through processes for different things. It's like Shanita said, yes, you may get a couple of no's, but there are some genuine people who know things and who are doing whatever the business is or whatever the thing is that you want to do very well. And they genuinely want to see other people succeed. There are people that exist that do want to see other people succeed. And those would be the people to follow, because I bet you the ones who are actually like, no, you got to buy my ebook, that's actually what they're succeeding in, is getting people to buy into their story and not probably the actual business of the thing that they're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. And then a lot of those are pre-recorded anyway. So it's not even like, you know, you getting a live ebook or a live person, like you getting shows that they recorded years ago and they still making money off of it. So it's all about marketing for them.
Yeah.
Also, you want to keep planning, write things down. You know, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people do the boards where you print out pictures. And,
the vision boards.
Yeah. And so you print out pictures and, you know, your goals or inspirational quotes. Even if you don't want to do that board, then you can, you know, print it out, put it at your computer, at your desk. I know some people keep it in their wallet or just wherever you go, in your bathroom, on the mirror. just have somewhere where you're going to constantly look at it and constantly remind you of, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm working towards.
So, go ahead, Melissa.
I was going to say, and speaking towards that, I don't remember if you said this, but I've heard a lot of people say, put it as your phone screen and your computer screen, because that's something you will probably get on every day, especially if you're in school, work, especially your phone. You're going to see it all the time. So your subconscious is going to manifest that, you know, because you're constantly seeing it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So what I was going to say is the opposite side of that. Also remove things that don't, that make you feel like you're, I don't know how to explain it, but things that actually make you feel bad, like you're not achieving certain things, like you're not hitting certain goals and benchmarks. You know, like sometimes you look at other people on Instagram and you're like, well, why isn't my business that successful? You know, it's okay to actually remove those people too, because sometimes there are false narratives that are out there. You know, you don't always see the struggle before the success. So if you feel like you're looking at somebody and it makes you feel like less than, remove that too.
And I was gonna say on top of that, that a lot of people sell like the perfectionist, or like, if I don't post it, it didn't happen. Like they kind of have that mindset, and it's like they don't know that they don't have to show everybody everything. And 9 times out of 10, that's the only thing that they have. They don't have nothing else. They don't have no real friends, no real support. No, you know what I'm saying? They don't have nothing else behind this picture on this yacht that somebody paid for the probably.
Right. If it's theirs, that might just be on a friend boat or rent one and taking a picture just for show. That's true. Also, you want to avoid getting burnt out and overwhelmed, especially like if you started to take on so much stuff at one time. It's like it becomes another job and or burden on you, and then you're not gonna, I guess, commit to it. You're gonna feel like, man, this is too much. I don't want to do it. I'm not seeing the results that I want. And it's just like you're gonna just end up giving up. So remember to have fun along the way. Maybe you can set some type of goals that, you know, after you get to this certain point, you go do this, like something you always wanted to do. Or, you know, even if you want to go by yourself or treat yourself, just make it fun. Don't make it like a whole nother job or something, because at the end of the day, whatever you want to become successful in, it has to be something that you truly want to do. Not like Crystal was saying earlier, not something that your family wanted you to do for you, but it's what you want to do, who you are.
Yep. And I'll say for me is like being overwhelmed. I feel like that a lot. So what I've learned is that I have to do smaller goals. So if I make a goal, let's say to do 100 push-ups, I'm never going to make that. But if I say I'm going to do 5 push-ups for, you know, 1 week and let that be a goal, and then, you know, congratulate myself for getting 5 push-ups, I'll make it to 100. But if I just tell myself I'm going to do 100, I'm never going to make it. Even if I can, it just
set the big goal. Set the big goal, but break it down into smaller, measurable parts that you can celebrate when you achieve that.
Yep, because even taking the push-ups, like you can think about it, you're in the gym, they do sets. So they may say the end is 200, but they're doing sets of 10 or sets of 12 or whatever, but they're going to eventually get there. So they're not just doing it all at one time.
Yep, that's true.
I completely agree. And I feel like that's something that I struggle with really bad, like making what I want to do a second job. And I'm not saying making it, but that's just kind of that's just what it ends up feeling like. And it's really kind of hard to avoid that with having to pay bills and trying to get out of that, if that makes sense. Like it's hard for it not to become a second job.
Right. But remember how I was saying earlier, even if it's nothing but 15 minutes, when you trying to be successful at something, you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to start off like at a faster pace. You know, if you got to work and do your other job in the meantime, then just work on that on the side. But you don't want to do too much to where you're not going to finish.
Very good point.
Oh, yeah. But, okay. And you on which bet on yourself. You have to know that, you know, even if nobody else is doing what you want them to do or supporting you or giving you, what it is that you feel like you need, like a pat on the back or a boost. You have to do it for yourself. If you don't believe that you can and you wouldn't bet on yourself, why would somebody else would?
Absolutely.
Even if you don't 100% convince yourself that, hey, I can do it, pretend until you do. And then eventually you will, you believe it enough, you're gonna achieve it.
It's true.
And you want to wake up early. Now, this I struggle with really, really hard. Actually, it was a study in Germany at the University of Education at Heidelberg, and they said that more people are often more successful if they get up around 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not saying that in order to be successful, you actually have to be a morning person, because there are people that are successful that are not morning person. But they were saying that it was a lot of CEOs of successful companies, and not all of them, but the majority of them were saying that they start their day at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I personally know that when I will get up and go to like a store and shop, it's less crowds, plus it's peaceful. And then, you can get a lot accomplished before the rest of the world wake up. So it's beneficial to actually get up. But if you struggle like me, just do it a little bit at a time. You'll get there.
Takara, why were you making that face at first?
Because I just can't even imagine in life unless I'm catching a flight or I gotta do something that's critical.
So
Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Have it ever been something that you was excited to do and you had to get up early, like maybe going on
Catch
vacation?
a flight?
Or what?
Catch a flight? Like, yes, go on vacation. That's probably the only reason that I could think of.
That I've ever. Sleeping, but did you wake up quickly and kind of got moving?
Probably.
Yeah, so it's your mind, because okay, well, I'm not going to work, but it's something that you want to do. We get up when we want to, so we can do it. It's just a matter of if we want to get up.
And I also heard like you are most inspired at those early morning hours. So like, you get a different type of inspiration that's more pure and authentic that you'll get during those hours that you don't get as quickly and easily as you would through the rest of the day.
Yeah, it would be, let me finish this because I need to go back to sleep.
But the funniest thing with me, it's like my body actually wakes up probably around 5. Sometimes it may be 5:30 or 6, and I'll be wide awake. But I get up and go back to bed because I'm just like, it's too early for me to get up. And then when I try to get up the next time, I am more sleepy then than I was if I would have just went on and got up.
Oh, that is so funny that you say that, because I could not agree with you more. I probably wake up every day, every single morning at like 5:05, 5:10.
Yep.
But I'll be doggone if I get up after 6.
So if you just change your mindset, you'll be okay, really.
Yeah.
Probably.
That 15 minutes you were looking for is right there.
Yeah. No, that's a whole hour.
And I have a question too, or like a statement, I guess. So I was hearing some people talk about, like, I guess people should actually try different hours of sleeping and seeing how tired they are with different hours. For instance, like, say you only sleep 6 hours one day, you wake up and you feel more energized than you do if you sleep 8 hours, because everybody doesn't need the same amount of sleep and everybody doesn't need 8 hours as well. So trying different, sleep times may actually be beneficial as well.
That's interesting.
I don't even know if I know how it feels to get 8 hours of sleep.
Well, I do.
Really? Really? So how do you feel when you wake up versus when you wake up with less, like you didn't get as many hours of sleep?
I feel like rested. I feel like, I have energy to do stuff. I don't feel like, all like that, but like, extra energy. But I do feel like, like I can do whatever it is I want to do with no hesitation. I'm not slow. Like I have all the energy that I need to do whatever I need to do. So I can tell the energy for me. So if I only get like anywhere from like 6 or below that, I'm gonna be sleepy and I'm gonna be sluggish and I'm not gonna want to do anything. Don't ask me what time it is. Don't ask me my name. Nothing, because I don't want to do anything.
It's true. Okay. And then the last tip I have for y'all is raise your standards, keep focused, and be persistent. Be careful who you share your goals with. Some things are not meant for you to discuss it with other people because they're going to be quick to, talk you out of it or get you to do what they want versus what it is that you want to do. So sometimes, you might just have to do it to keep it to yourself. And then as you get to that place, then you can share it when you feel like you're ready. But in the beginning stages, you have to be very careful with it because a lot of people have been talked out of something that they could have been, very successful at because they listen to people instead of themselves.
Yep. And I say for me, I've noticed that when I don't talk about stuff and just do it, I'm able to actually complete things. But if I tell people and I talk about it, I don't always complete it. It's rare for me to complete it if I talk about it before I do it. So I've learned not to talk about it and I actually follow through. So I think maybe expressing it and telling other people takes some of the energy for me or something.
Mhm.
And if I stop doing that, I keep all the energy in and it pushes me to complete whatever it is that I'm trying to do.
And that's true because a lot of people that take like licensure tests or even the ACT, like any big major test, like if you telling people, I think sometimes it's harder because once people don't pass, then they have to go back and say, oh, well, I didn't pass. But a lot of them actually pass when they don't, share the date or, let people know what they're about to do. And what I can say is what you can do is write 3 headings down and it'll be what I want, why I want it, and to be achieved by. So put the date. So you're gonna do what you want, why you want it, and by when. And that's all. So hopefully that helped or gave y'all some things that you didn't. If not, it's plenty on the web. Like Takara said, you can Google multiple tips and it might be some that, I did not name that are very helpful as well.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Me too. So I guess it's letter time. And we received a good one. It's interesting. So they say, hello, melanated opinion. I know someone who I feel needs to go to counseling, but they won't go. They had a lot of things happen to them when they were younger that were not really dealt with. I've suggested talking to a professional, but they don't believe in counseling. Any suggestions on how to get someone to go to counseling when they don't want to go? Why you make that face, Melissa?
I don't know, because I guess a couple of things came to my mind because I don't know if y'all feel this way, but this is the way I feel. I don't feel like the Black community as a whole pushes therapy and counseling like they should. And it's kind of looked down upon rather than looking as a way like, oh, my child needs help or my sister needs help. It's kind of like, oh, people gonna talk about this. That's the first thing they resort to rather than encouraging to go to counseling. That's why I think a lot of Black people, at least from my experience, what I see, that's why they don't want to go.
I feel like that's more of like the older generation.
Mhm.
From what I've seen, the people who are, younger and young, they don't mind going to counseling. Like it's no stigma around it for them, but it's more of the older people, at least from what I've seen. But if I don't know how to get someone to go.
Yeah. That's where I'm kind of like confused about because I almost feel like you can suggest it and you should suggest it. But I think that's a personal decision that has to be made by them.
Yes, and I think too, they have to kind of I think the person can explain to them what counseling actually look like today. A lot of people think, just like me, I used to think counseling is you go sit on a clock and on a couch and tell your problems, lay down, and they writing everything down, and they may diagnose you with something, but it's not like that. It has been proven that it has been more effective now because, like Krista said, a lot more people, I know several people my age have been going now, and they get a lot of tips, they get a lot of methods that they can use in everyday life to help when certain situations arise, and they like it. And depending on the type of job you have, some of it is paid, through your insurance as well. So it's not as pricey as people think. So I think you have to kind of explain to them what counseling looks like now and how effective it can be. And you may can get them to talk to somebody who actually has went to counseling and let them, be able to answer any question.
Research into going into choosing therapists and things like that. Like, try to choose someone that looks like you or may have experienced the same thing like you. And that might help the experience. Like, just not trying to be rude, but like some, male white therapist, I wouldn't have a lot of common with. Like, he probably wouldn't understand half the stuff I'm going through because he just wouldn't understand. So I think and I'm just saying this because I have experienced this. Like, I went to therapy with a white older man, and it wasn't
relatable.
I'm not going back.
That's a good point. They actually have counseling for all different types of areas or all different types of people. They have Christian, they have different community counselors, they have counselors of all race and gender. So they just have to find, it's kind of like if you're going to an OBGYN, like you got to find who you're comfortable with.
True. So I hope this was helpful. And thank you for writing to us. So I think that was it. That's all I had.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps up the show. We've talked about ways to be successful. We've given an opinion on a letter, whether you should go to counseling or not. What would you do in that situation? If you would like to send us a letter, send it to themelanatedopinion@gmail.com. Follow us on our social medias at The Melanated Opinion on Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter is The Melanated LP. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.